Advanced Persistent Threat 2. According to Wikipedia, an advanced persistent threat is a stealthy threat actor, typically a state or state-sponsored group, which gains unauthorized access to computer network and remains undetected for an extended period. If you're yet to see my first video on advanced persistent threats, I would advise you go see that first and come back to see this. Today's objectives are how attackers or how attacks are implemented, how to protect your organization. Hello YouTube, I am Sharon. Welcome to Nola Trust. You can follow me on TikTok. My TikTok handle is Nola_Trust. There I post daily on cybersecurity awareness and free resources. See you there. How attacks are implemented. So basically we're going to deal with cyber kill chain. So there are stages involved in cyber kill chain, which involves reconnaissance, weaponization, delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control, and actions on objectives. Cyber kill chain compromises common possible stages in which an attack is executed. It gives a security analyst an insight into the attacker's objectives and the stage at which they are vulnerable, the stage at which they have been compromised. So now we'll move further to reconnaissance. It is the first stage of an attack, which involves gathering the possible information on the attack surface of a possible for possible vulnerabilities. So they are literally gathering information on this attack surface of possible vulnerabilities on their targets. So we have two categories of reconnaissance, which involves an active reconnaissance and a passive reconnaissance. So reconnaissance uses tools like and tactics like social engineering, right? Social engineering, which involves phishing, business email compromise, smishing, spear phishing attack, social media phishing, and physical phishing, and many more. And it involves tools like the OSINT, that is spelled OSINT. Port scanning are used at this stage, right? So now we'll move down to the weaponization stage. This stage involves creating a suitable malicious payload for an attack, right? It involves creating a tailored malicious program to execute the vulnerabilities discovered during the reconnaissance stage. So this weaponization stage involves creating a tailored program, a payload based on the information gathered. It could involve the reconnaissance stage, in which they physically or internet wise using their computer, just going through their social media page, the organization's social media page, which is their target, or visiting their targets physically to know if there are security cameras in place or security guard in place, or if they could access the computer or the data without going through stress of creating a tailored program or a payload. So now, after getting the information and they've seen where the organization have been vulnerable or the target has been vulnerable, so now they create a a tailored malicious payload in which they exploit the organization. The next stage is delivery, right? This stage involves the transmission of malicious payload to the victim. This could be done in various ways depending on the findings during the reconnaissance, depending on what the information they gathered during the reconnaissance, and which could be probably they load the malware or into a flash and drop it in a precise defined position in which an employee would pick it up and unknowingly infect the computer, or to use a phishing email, a phishing attack in which um, an employee, which is a vulnerable employee, clicks on it and then infects the system, right? So this is what the delivery entails. So we're moving down to exploitation. This stage involves executing the malicious payload, right, while taking advantage of the vulnerabilities found on the system during the reconnaissance stage, and after the malicious payload has been delivered already into the system. So now, the after you've clicked on the phishing email, now you've downloaded that executable file, which you thought it was a document you had to open, and now this gives the program, the payload, the access to find a means to begin its operation. It starts doing the job in which it's been created for, in which it's been tailored to do. And now moving down to installation. Now, after we've recognized, we've delivered, it is being exploits. The vulnerabilities in the systems are being exploited. Now it installs the additional information or gadgets or tools it needs to gain more access on the system. So this is the stage which involves installing the attack vectors on the victim systems. Right. This process is usually automated. So when they are actually creating, doing the reconnaissance and creating the payload, they make sure it is automated because they are not there to make sure it runs. So now, when the user falls victim, or when their targets fall a victim by clicking becomes vulnerable to the attack, it's just less for the employee to insert that USB stick into the system, and then the attack starts. The attack is being initiated, or for that vulnerable employee to click on that email and then click on that executable file, the malicious payload. They thought it was a document that they need to access, and the attack gets initiated. So it is the process of the malicious software to begin installation for malicious use. So that's basically what the installation stage entails. So now we're moving down to well-known command and control. Now this stage is where the attacker and establish communication with the compromised system and network, right? And and it creates and has access to maintain and access the system by creating a backdoor, right? And delivering and receiving data without the knowledge of the victim. So now this command control, it's there that they've actually gained uh, their the access, and they are literally moving in your computer. They have the control, they have the access, they are just finding what they need, right? At this point, and they are sending and they are receiving, creating through a backdoor of the attack. So um, I think I'll have to create a video explaining the tools that can create a backdoor. So we have for payload, we have the virus, we have the worm, and we have the Trojan. I will explain further in the next video, in another video, not this. So, so basically, that's what the control and command and control does. The attacker literally has it's a literal movement. They have a literal access to the system and network. So now the action on objectives is the actions on objectives. This is the final stage, the final step of an attack, right? They can There can be an attack in an attack, right? There can be a foundation for a basic attack for a greater attack, and understanding this, the tactics in which an attacker operates with is very, very important for for you to understand as a cybersecurity analyst, because it gives you an edge for you to understand what stage exactly have you been compromised, and it gives you an idea on the next stage they would be aiming at, and for you to protect or to counterattack them at that stage, right? To make sure you kill the operations. You have to kill the operations, because immediately if the attacker is successful and gets to the control and command stage, it is going to be difficult to get the 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 attacker out of your system, because they've already gotten access into it and they have started taking out information, sensitive informations which they need. So how to protect your organization? How do you protect your organization? It's simple. You just have to install firewalls, intrusion detection and prevention systems. Create a password policy. I would talk more on password policy. Also, stay tuned for my video. Acceptable use policy. Principle of least privilege. Who are to access an information. Having a good network topology, right? By segmenting them and literally segmenting your work. So whoever has access to data A must not also have access to data B, depending on your organization policy and objectives, right? And the least principle of least privilege. It's a principle which only give an employee the privilege to access the least information he needs to get his work done. Just the information that employee needs to get his work done and nothing more. Network security policies, software patch management, in which you have to patch your system all the time. You need to know when a new update is out for system, when a system has entered end of life, and yeah. So that's all about software patch and management policy and user awareness training. Now, this is very important. You need to make them aware, make your employee, the user, aware of security, the tactics in which an attacker can use um, on them, for them not to be vulnerable, for them to be aware, right? For phishing, password policies and management, and then compliance of policy. As an organization, you need to be policy compliance and rules. Um, you need to comply to the policies that is related to your organization. So, thank you for today. I hope you find this video really educative. Watch out for the next video, and I'll see you there. Also, I'd like for you to like, share, and comment, subscribe if you're yet to do that, and also see you on my TikTok page. Bye now.